Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about a hard drive not being detected by the computer. You turn it on, you see this red CPU light or a red CPU light starts flashing, and you think, oh no, what's going wrong? Well, do I ain't panic because there are a few simple fixes that you can try to get things back up and running in no time at all. Of course, the first thing that we should do is look inside our PC case and check all of the cables. It could be something as simple as a loose SATA cable or a loose power cable. It may even be something as simple as a drive that's not seated correctly within the SATA connector. So, that's the easy part out of the way. And let's say that doesn't solve the problem. What else can we try? Well, assuming that you have more than one SATA port on your motherboard, you could try moving your hard drive over to another SATA port. If your motherboard has 2 or 3 of these connections, try moving it from one to the other, just to eliminate any potential problems with the port itself. And let's say that still doesn't work. Well, the next thing that we can do is take one of the cables that we used for our hard drive and plug it into the motherboard. And then, instead of plugging the other end into the drive, we plug it into another drive that we know works, or another hard drive that we have lying around. If this still doesn't work, then the cable itself might be faulty, or the connection at the motherboard itself might be loose or not working properly. You can try switching the cable completely if you have a spare, or just ensuring that it's pushed in firmly at both ends. Sometimes a little bit of force is required to get these cables to push in properly, and it's always worth checking both ends, the connection at the motherboard and the connection at the drive itself. Another thing that you can do is go back into the BIOS and check whether the drive is enabled. Sometimes, especially on older motherboards, you need to go into the BIOS and actually enable the SATA ports. It sounds strange, but this is something that you'll see on some older motherboards. Now this will differ from board to board, so you may need to consult your motherboard's manual to find out exactly where to look, but it's definitely worth checking. If you do have an older motherboard, then it's also worth checking all of the connections and making sure that they all nice and secure. Now, if your hard drive is making a lot of clicking noises when you try to start your computer, then this is almost certainly the drive itself. The clicking that you hear is the read-write head trying to access the drive, but it's either physically or electronically unable to do so. This could be because the drive has failed or because there is some sort of physical obstruction. If you do take your hard drive out of the caddy or the enclosure that it's in, if it's in one of those external enclosures that you plug into the USB, make sure that there's no obstruction, such as a fingernail or a piece of fluff preventing the arm from moving freely. If you can hear the clicking noise, even after removing the drive from its enclosure, then it's likely that the drive itself has failed and you will have to replace it. So hopefully one of those tips has helped you. If it has, leave a like on the video. Leave a dislike if it hasn't. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hopefully I'll see all of you in the next one.